In a world full of expectations, one thing stands out. There's this overwhelming pressure on women to meet a certain standard. Whether it's how we look, how we speak, or how we act, society constantly imposes rules on us that don't always fit who we truly are. These standards are often unrealistic, deeply ingrained, and sometimes even harmful. From the way we manage our careers to how we manage relationships, we are given this image of the perfect woman. The one who can do it all, look perfect doing it, and make it all seem effortless. But here's the truth. You don't have to meet anyone's standards, not even the woman's standard. You don't owe anyone an explanation for who you are or why you choose to live life the way you do. No matter how the world defines a perfect woman, the only definition that matters is yours. You are not here to fit into a mold that was made by someone else. You are here to create your own mold, your own journey, and your own path. The woman's standard, a myth, a trap, a cage. The idea of a woman's standard is not something new. It's a cultural narrative that has been passed down for generations. From the moment we're born, society begins to shape us. We are told how to act, what to look like, and what kind of life we should strive for. These lessons come from various sources: parents, teachers, friends, media, and cultural norms. From a very young age, girls are subtly taught that there is a very specific way they should behave in order to be considered acceptable in the eyes of the world. The messages are often clear. Women are expected to be nurturing, selfless, graceful, and gentle. We are told that we should always be caring, especially toward others. We are taught that our primary roles should be as daughters, wives, mothers, and caregivers. But as we grow older, these messages only intensify. Women are expected to balance a multitude of responsibilities: work, family, friendships, social obligations, and, of course, maintaining their appearance. We are told to do all of this with grace, a smile on our face, and an aura of composure that somehow makes it all seem effortless. The media perpetuates this image of the perfect woman constantly. We are bombarded with images of women who seem to have it all: the successful career, the happy family, the flawless skin, the stylish wardrobe, and the perfectly curated life. We see these women juggling a million things at once, seemingly without breaking a sweat. The pressure to live up to this ideal is constant. Women are expected to be everything for everyone: the best employee, the most devoted partner, the most loving mother, and always looking their best, all while being kind, gentle, and understanding. We are led to believe that this is the ultimate goal, to be perfect in every role we take on. But what happens when we don't measure up to these impossible standards? What happens when we feel like we're failing to live up to the ideal woman society wants us to be? We feel inadequate, anxious, and often overwhelmed. The more we try to meet these standards, the more we find that they are not only impossible to achieve, but also inherently damaging. These expectations are based on a narrow, one-size-fits-all definition of what it means to be a woman. They don't take into account the full spectrum of human experience, nor do they celebrate the diversity, complexity, and individuality that makes each woman unique. The truth is, the perfect woman doesn't exist. This ideal is a fabrication, a cultural construct that has been designed to fit a narrow, unrealistic image of femininity. It's a collection of ideas and expectations that fails to acknowledge the fact that every woman is different. No two women are the same, and yet society tells us that we must all fit into the same mold. Whether it's in terms of appearance, behavior, or aspirations, we are told that there is only one way to be a successful woman. But in reality, the notion of a perfect woman is an illusion. We need to understand that this ideal is not only unachievable, but also irrelevant to who we are as individuals. No one should be expected to fit perfectly into these prescribed boxes. The damage begins when we start to believe that we must live up to this unattainable image. We begin to question ourselves, our worth, and our value because we're not conforming to a standard that was never meant to fit us in the first place. We begin to shrink ourselves, to hide parts of who we are, in order to fit into someone else's idea of what we should be. It's time to challenge this myth. It's time to break free from the belief that we have to meet someone else's standards. The idea that we must shrink ourselves, dim our light, or change who we are in order to be accepted is deeply harmful. This belief robs us of our authenticity and our ability to live true to ourselves. We do not have to apologize for being who we are, for pursuing our own dreams, or for living our lives in a way that feels right for us. There is no single definition of what it means to be a woman, no universal blueprint that we must follow. Every woman is unique, and that uniqueness should be celebrated, not diminished. The pressure to conform to a societal ideal only creates stress, self-doubt, and a sense of inadequacy. It causes women to feel like they are constantly falling short, never quite measuring up to the impossible standards set before them. But in reality, there is no one right way to be a woman. Embrace your authenticity. It's time to embrace your authenticity. There is no one else in the world like you. Your experiences, your personality, your strengths, and even your flaws, these are what make you who you are. And that's something to be proud of. You don't have to change who you are in order to fit someone else's idea of what a woman should be. You don't have to silence your voice, shrink your ambitions, or hide your true self just to make others feel comfortable. When you begin to embrace who you are without apology, you open yourself up to a deeper sense of self-worth. You start to see that you don't need to fit into anyone else's mold. You start to understand that your worth is not determined by how closely you match the impossible standards set by society. Your value comes from within. It comes from being true to yourself, from embracing your unique qualities, and from living a life that aligns with your values and passions. The power of letting go. Letting go of the need to meet societal standards is incredibly liberating. It's not an easy process, and it doesn't happen overnight. But when you begin to release the weight of other people's expectations, you make space for your own desires, dreams, and identity. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring about others or that you reject all societal norms. It simply means that you stop letting those norms control your life. You take back your power and choose to live authentically. There is immense power in letting go of the idea that you have to live up to someone else's idea of who you should be. You become free to live your life on your own terms. And in doing so, you not only free yourself, but you also inspire others to do the same. By embracing your authenticity, you send a powerful message to the world that it's okay to be different, it's okay to be imperfect, and it's okay to be exactly who you are. The journey of self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is a lifelong journey, and it's one that requires patience, compassion, and self-love. It's not about being perfect, and it's not about meeting anyone else's standards. It's about embracing yourself and all of your complexity and uniqueness. It's about accepting that you are enough, just as you are. When you begin to accept yourself, you will find that the pressure to meet external expectations starts to fade. You will no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. Instead, you will find a deep sense of peace and contentment in knowing that you are living life on your own terms. You will no longer measure your worth based on someone else's standards. Instead, you will see that your worth is inherent. It's not something that can be measured or quantified by anyone but you. The truth is, there is no woman's standard that you need to live up to. You are not defined by the expectations placed on you by society or anyone else. You are defined by who you choose to be, so let go of the need to fit into someone else's mold. Embrace your uniqueness. Define your own standards and live a life that reflects who you truly are. The pressure to conform is suffocating. The pressure to conform to societal expectations as a woman is relentless. We are expected to always be the nurturing one, the selfless one, the one who can juggle everything effortlessly. We are expected to look a certain way, behave a certain way, and even feel a certain way. But truth is, this pressure often feels suffocating. We are expected to be perfect in every aspect of our lives. But perfection is a myth. No one is perfect. And the more we try to meet these impossible standards, the more we feel like we're failing. We try to be the perfect daughter, the perfect friend, the perfect employee, the perfect girlfriend, the perfect wife, and still, we are told that it's not enough. It's never enough. But here's the thing. You don't need to be everything for everyone. You don't have to be the perfect woman to be worthy of love, respect, and success. The pressure to meet these standards often leads to anxiety, self-doubt, and exhaustion. It creates an environment where women feel like they can never live up to the expectations placed on them, which leads to feelings of inadequacy. But here's the most important thing to understand. You don't need to meet these external standards in order to be happy or fulfilled. The only standard you need to live by is the one that you create for yourself. You are allowed to define your own success. One of the most powerful things you can do as a woman is to define your own success. Success is not about meeting someone else's expectations or fitting into a mold that doesn't serve you. Success is about being true to yourself. It's about knowing who you are, what you want, and taking the necessary steps to live a life that feels authentic to you. When we constantly measure ourselves against the standards set by others, we lose sight of what truly makes us happy. We start to chase someone else's version of success, which might not even align with our own values or desires. But when you create your own definition of success, you take control of your life. You stop living for others and start living for yourself. This means acknowledging your worth and your strengths, even when the world may not recognize them. This means choosing to walk your own path, even when it doesn't match what others expect of you. Success is about being content with who you are and making peace with the fact that you don't need to meet anyone's standards but your own. You don't have to be perfect to be valuable. Too often, we're taught that being perfect is the key to being valuable. Women are told that in order to be loved, respected, or accepted, we need to be perfect. We need to have flawless skin, a perfect body, a perfect job, a perfect family. We need to have it all together, all the time. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. No one has it all together. No one is flawless. And here's the most important part. You don't have to be perfect to be valuable. You are valuable because you are you. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness simply because you exist. Your imperfections don't diminish your worth. They make you human. Embrace your flaws, your quirks, and your mistakes. They are part of what makes you unique and beautiful. When we let go of the idea that we need to be perfect to be valuable, we open ourselves up to a much more fulfilling life. We allow ourselves to be imperfect and still worthy of all the love, success, and joy that we deserve. It's time to let go of the belief that we need to meet someone else's standards of perfection. We are worthy of everything we desire, just as we are. Let go of the fear of being judged. One of the biggest obstacles many women face when it comes to living authentically is the fear of judgment. We are constantly worried about what others think of us, our appearance, our choices, our beliefs. We fear being judged for not meeting the standards set by society, family, or peers. But here's the thing. The fear of judgment can hold us back from living our truth. If you live your life constantly worrying about what others think, you'll never be able to fully embrace who you are. You'll always feel like you're living in the shadows, trying to fit into someone else's mold. But when you let go of the fear of judgment, you set yourself free. You allow yourself to be authentic, to make mistakes, and to grow without the fear of criticism. You can't control what others think, and that's okay. What matters is how you see yourself. When you start living for yourself and not for the approval of others, you'll feel a sense of freedom and empowerment that comes with embracing your true self. You don't need to fit into anyone's mold. The truth is, you don't need to fit into anyone's mold. You don't need to live your life according to someone else's blueprint. You're unique. Your journey is unique. Your path is yours alone, and that's okay. When you stop trying to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be, you open yourself up to the freedom to live authentically. You allow yourself to break free from the limitations of society's expectations and create your own life. You don't have to be the perfect daughter, the perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect worker, the perfect friend. You just have to be you. The only standard that matters is the one you set for yourself. The most empowering thing you can do as a woman is to stop living for anyone else and start living for yourself. For far too long, women have been conditioned to measure their worth based on external standards. Whether that's the approval of others, societal expectations, or outdated notions of what it means to be a proper woman. The reality is, the only standard that truly matters is the one you create for yourself. This is where the journey of empowerment begins, in embracing the power of self-definition. Too often, we fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. We look at the lives of other women, their careers, their relationships, their appearance, and we start to measure our own worth against their success. We ask ourselves, why don't I have what she has? Or why isn't my life as perfect as hers? But this is a dangerous path to follow, because it assumes that there is one right way to live, one perfect life that everyone should aspire to. The truth is, there is no universal blueprint for success, happiness, or fulfillment. We are all on our own journeys with our own dreams, desires, and struggles. When you stop living to meet someone else's expectations and start defining success on your own terms, something truly transformative happens. You begin to free yourself from the constant pressure to be perfect. You stop measuring your worth by how closely you align with someone else's idea of success, and instead you start measuring it by your own achievements, your personal growth, and your unique contributions to the world. This shift in perspective is liberating. When you embrace your imperfections, you unlock the true power within you. It is in our flaws, our vulnerabilities, and our unique qualities that our greatest strengths lie. Perfection is an illusion. There is no such thing as a flawless life, no such thing as being without mistakes or setbacks. But it is through these imperfections that we learn, grow, and evolve. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. In fact, it is often in embracing our imperfections that we truly find our strength. Our scars, our struggles, and our resilience make us who we are, and they are what empower us to move forward in life. Letting go of the fear of judgment is another crucial step in this journey. So often, we hold ourselves back because we fear how others will perceive us. We worry about being criticized, judged, or misunderstood. We fear rejection, failure, and the vulnerability that comes with being our true selves. But the truth is, you cannot live authentically if you are constantly trying to live up to other people's expectations. You will always feel trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity if you base your decisions on what others think of you. The only opinion that truly matters is your own. You are worthy of love, happiness, and success, not because you meet someone else's standards, but because you are you. Your worth is intrinsic. It is not something that can be earned or taken away by anyone. You are enough just as you are. You don't need to prove your value to anyone. You don't need to seek validation from others. The love, happiness, and success that you desire are already within you, waiting to be unlocked by your own belief in yourself. So stop trying to meet the world's expectations. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into a mold that doesn't fit you. Society has spent centuries trying to define what a woman should be, but you don't have to conform to those narrow definitions. You are a unique individual with your own strengths, desires, and ambitions. The world will try to tell you who you should be, but it's time to take control and decide for yourself who you want to become. Embrace who you are, flaws and all, and live life on your own terms. When you do this, you will discover a new sense of peace and happiness that comes from within, not from trying to meet the standards set by others. This inner peace comes from the realization that you are living your truth. You are not pretending to be someone else, not trying to wear a mask to gain approval. You are being your authentic self, and that is more than enough. The most important thing to remember is this: you are the only one who gets to define your worth. No one else has the right to dictate how you should feel about yourself. The opinions of others, no matter how well-intentioned, are just that, opinions. They do not determine your value. You do! You are enough. You are worthy. You are powerful. These are not just words. They are truths that you must embrace wholeheartedly. You are worthy of all of the love, success, and happiness that life has to offer simply because you are you. You don't need to fit into anyone else's mold or meet anyone else's standards. The only standard you need to meet is the one you set for yourself. When you embrace this, when you truly believe that you are enough just as you are, you will begin to experience a profound shift in your life. You will attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences that align with who you truly are. You will no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone because you will already know your worth. And that is the most empowering feeling in the world. So let go of the need to please others. Let go of the fear of judgment. Let go of the desire to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. And instead, embrace the truth that you are enough, exactly as you are. When you do this, you will find the strength to live boldly, authentically, and fearlessly. You will discover the power that comes from loving yourself fully and unapologetically. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.